Happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So tonight we are back at the garden embroidery. We did not finish it last week. This one has quite a bit more going on with it, so we're going to work on it this weekend. So let's get going. Thanks again for joining me. All right, I'm going to scooch you on in and we will get going on this feller. Okay, we left off with this little garden here, the little raised garden bed, and I would like to get this guy done today. So there's, again, a lot kind of going on here, but I think it'll be fun. All right, get my little needle minder down there. So I'm going to start off with the bottom, the box again, basically. So the brown, and then there's actually, if we look closely, there's a little like ladder. I don't know, kind of like a metal sort of frame that these beans can crawl up on. So I think I'm going to do that gray next, and then we'll add the plants, the dark green, and then we'll add the beans, which are just like a bunch of single stitches there. And that is where we're going to start tonight. So thanks again, everyone, for joining. I got my tray here. This is the box packaging, but it's been working really well for my project tray. So I'm going to continue that. Oh, this is just a teeny bit of brown. I think it's time to get a new piece. Oh, we got a long piece here, so I'm going to separate a strand from here, and we'll start with that loop method. Hey, Debbie. Let me page down here. How was the shower? It was lovely. So I was... sorry, you guys, I didn't come in on Friday. That was my intention, but a few things went awry on Friday, so I'm back today. So we've only gotten four hours into this instead of our usual kind of 5. But yes, I went to visit my parents, and my brother and sister-in-law came as well, and it was her baby shower. So it was fun for sure. I did. There was a couple games. I did well at matching the Disney characters on one side of the column to their parents on the other side through basically process of elimination. So that's my claim to fame for the weekend. But yeah, it went super duper well. She got so many cute clothes. Let's see. I think I'm going to go... If I start here, I could go all the way around the outside. Then the inside, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a huge game plan for what order to stitch things in, so we'll just get at it. But yes, so many cute clothes. It was so sweet, and lots of cute blankies, lots of handmade things, which is fun, and it was lovely. And then it was just nice to, they stayed with my parents, so we got to see them like in the evenings and stuff. They were visiting a bunch of people. But it was fun, and it was nice seeing them. Seeing them before the baby comes. But yeah, it was a nice little weekend for sure. Oh, thanks, Linda. I appreciate it. All right. Just gonna get a couple of the side stitches along the way, I think. It's a few less things at my house than 2, now that I gave them their presents and stuff, so. Might have to do another little present, maybe, if, once I know the name of the baby. So this one I'm going to go all the way around the back. So I'm doing the box first because everything else is kind of in front of it. Like the metal bit that I want to do next is in front of all of these stitches. So I think brown first, then the gray. Oop, drop my needle. Then the plants. So once we get done with this, I think I'd like to jump over to these tomatoes and work like the tomatoes from front to back. Yeah, which I think will be the metal cages that the tomatoes are in, and maybe I'll get the this brown around the base of the tomatoes done right away too. So, oh yep, Grace, Mel's doing great. Sylvia's asking, am I ready to be an auntie? I don't know, I guess. I guess. It'll be nice. Alright, getting the back row of these. So sometimes in the design I did have like the line extend behind the other things, and then sometimes I didn't. Like down here it just kind of starts and stops. But that's mostly because I think those threads kind of, or those stitches kind of make up, or like kind of fill in the space a little bit. Alright, so we drove a pile yesterday, so just getting back into everything today. Good reminder, Crafty Mama. Alright. Bottom edge, and then the dirt on the inside, and I think we're gonna be playing some thread chicken here. See how it goes. I may lose thread chicken this time, but if I do lose thread chicken, I'll start the brown again, and then maybe I'll get this brown around here too while I'm at it. We'll see. But I don't know, we'll see how close I get here. So just that little, the dirt behind. Now. It is printed a little light, so I am referring back to the design for sure as I go. Plenty of thread. Okay, one more stitch, and this little bed is ready for some plants. Alright, there we are. It's like we're really gardening. I have to set up the little trellis for it to climb up on. And then for the beans to climb up on, and then we can plant. Plant our beans. Ooh, dang, you guys. I have a show and tell, though, I suppose, from Mom and Dad's garden. We gotta bring some produce home. So, let's see. I have a few things I can grab. we got some delicata squash from the garden, and some, like, a kaboka squash from the garden. I'm super excited for this. It's so heavy. But the kaboka squash, this is a gray kaboka squash. It looks like it could maybe have gone a little bit more because it's a little green yet. But I wanted to bring one home. So a gray kaboka squash. Oh, and I'm getting dirt all over my embroidery. And some delicatas we brought home. And I love them so much. So those actually were started from seeds from a squash that we got from the garden. Or not from the garden, from the grocery store. So we had brought those squash to my parents' house once and ate them there, but we saved all the seeds and they planted them and they grew all over the place. So there's a bunch of them in their garden this year. And I love both of those squash because you can eat the outside of both of them. So that's, to me, what makes the delicata and the kaboka squash special. So you can just roast them and then, like, or you can chop them up and then just roast them and have you don't have to peel it or anything. So that's awesome. That makes the squash so much better. But yeah, so I brought a couple of those home. We're ready. And then some peppers and a few zucchini. So I'm going to have to get, I think this weekend, maybe I'll cook them all up. Ugh, and you guys, my nails are just falling apart from doing stuff over the weekend. So I think I'll be redoing those a little bit this evening when we're done here. All right, I am going to make the little kind of, what would you call this? The little trellis that is climbing up. So that's going to be gray, that the beans will be crawling up. But their garden has so many fun, yummy things in it, it's exciting. Alright, and again, this is the trellis that all of the, oops, I split the thread there. All of the beans are going to grow up onto. I'm kind of tempted, since I have this gray on my needle, I'm kind of tempted to go over here and do the little cages for the tomatoes, but I think I'll go one at a time. We'll go section by section. All right, and then down. We can't grow squash or anything or zucchini in our garden anymore. We didn't even plant any of those this year because the squirrels just eat all of them. Like, the only way is if we grow enough of them and hope that they miss one or two of them, but it's mostly just every single one that comes up, they bite, a good chunk out of it and then move on to the next one. It's so annoying. So we haven't done squash for a little while in our own garden. The only things that the squirrels don't seem to eat is kale and lettuce. So we've been growing a lot of kale and lettuce more than anything else, which is kind of sad. Oh, and the peppers. We grew peppers this year and they've been pretty good. All right, let's do the green. Let's see, we do have some smaller pieces of green, but I'm going to start another big piece. Ooh, Linda says, I picked my first okra pod today. Nice. Have to make something special with it. Oh, you're in Michigan. Not a hotbed for the okra, That'd be fun to grow. Oh, Linda says, squirrels stole my cucumber. Yeah, there's no way we'd be able to grow cucumber without squirrels taking all of it. A couple neighbors have a garden that they've completely, like, they have 2x4s going all the way up, so it's almost like a room that they're making, like an 8-foot room, and that's covered in chicken wire, like the chicken wire where it's really close together, not the big hole chicken wire, and then the roof is also chicken wired, so it's literally a complete closed in cage, and literally I think that's the only way that one would be able to keep the squirrels out. And then they have like a door on it and stuff too. I've seen two neighbors. One's kind of in our neighborhood and one's like a little ways down, a couple neighborhoods away. But like, I'm thinking those are the only people that can actually grow anything. Everyone else is SOL with the squirrels. All right, so I am stitching the bean vines, basically. And I am looking at this again to help myself out. So the loop method, starting again. And then we'll do the actual beans hanging from the vine next. We'll do 2 more stitches here. And at the end, they have a little lazy daisy or like single chain stitches, so we'll get those right away too. Oh, I'm in Minnesota, so I'm thinking we have the same issues as Michigan for sure, Linda. All right, get the one little leaf. And another. But we had all sorts of meals when I was at my parents' house with garden veggies. Oh, Sylvia says we chased a bear out of our garden a couple of weeks ago. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I don't think we have bears. That'd be scary though. No, thank you. Oh, Linda, your brother lives in Minnesota, Edina. That is like really, really close to me. Very, very close. Alright, let's get this leaf. I like when they cross over the back fence here a little bit. We'll cross over. There we go. Alright, and I'm always kind of hopping back to the bottom for these, I think. This is another like super dense area of this design. So it is helpful to look at the pattern here too. Alright, one little bit there. Ooh, Robin, good luck! Robin says, I'm in San Antonio house hunting. That sounds like a big job. Come here. There we are. And a few more. Nice little row of plants growing up here. And now the chipmunks or the squirrels discovered the tomatoes now, even the little cherry tomatoes, so they're stealing cherry tomatoes and eating all those, so that's real fun. Pile of jerk butts this year. But I get to visit Mom and Dad's garden, so that's nice. They have a nice garden. All right, we got one kind of big one going all the way up here, and then another like 2-leaf one over here. Ooh, and I think we're gonna need more floss. Like I said, it's pretty dense here. There's a lot of stitches. So, we use up the floss pretty quickly. Actually, this may be some thread chicken. Maybe we will get it all done. Gotta get this little single chain stitch up here. It's gonna be cutting it close with these chain stitches. All right, last one. Ooh, I think we're gonna have just enough. Yes! Man, it's like I magically cut all the thread to be just the right length. Ooh, this one's gonna be really close though. All right, so I need one more stitch here. And I'll get this top single chain stitch first, and then there's one more little single chain stitch. Yay! Last leaf. Just enough floss. Like I actually have to come up first to like get in there. There we go. All right. Tack that down. There's our little vines. Oh, Kate and Cassie, what happened to the alphabet animals? So I work on those for the first and second weeks of a new month. So we will come back to those the first week in September, which is coming up real quick here. The third week, I stitch the embroidery of the month, which is this. And usually it just takes me the week, but this one has a lot more going on with it, so this one's taking me longer. And I was gone on Friday. So this fourth week is usually my free week that we just work on some random fun projects, or we do a specific project. There's a quilt project that we're trying to finish as well. And I think this month we actually have a little bit extra time as well, so we'll see. But yeah, so first week in September, or first full week of September is when we'll do the animals again. And where do we leave off? The newt. So owl, the O for owl will be the first week. And then pig for P will be the second week of September. All right, now I have the little beans. Do we have enough thread here for that? We might. Oh, these are different lengths. Weird. Oh, this must have been for like the French knots. Maybe I had some. Well, wait. Are these different lengths? No. All right, we're good. So I have this much left of my light green before I have to cut more, but I think this is enough for just a couple little hanging beans. I think I'm going to just do them in one big stitch each. So I just need to thread this, and we'll weave in the ends to the back. And then I think we'll just kind of go through all these stitches here. And then we'll just see if I think we'll have enough just for a couple long stitches. So since this is so dense here already, I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye on where they are in the design here. I can see some of the lines here yet for it, but a lot of them are covered up by our stitches that are already there. So that's what makes this design a bit trickier than our other one. So we put like this is a 2-dot level versus just a 1. It's still, ooh, did I get a little knot there? No, came out. Still definitely doable, but there's a little more trickiness in some of these dense areas. But really, like for these beans, you could just place a little stitch anywhere and it's gonna look like you got some beans hanging down there. I think we'll get one crossing over this way. We'll get like 3 more in there. 1. I like that these are just like big stitches. We'll do this one above the little vine. And one more down here. There we go. So that's pretty cute. So that's all there is to that. Just adding a couple vertical lines in there. Those are the little beans. So that whole area is done now. That is really dense. That's almost as dense as like all these leaves that we did over here. But it's fun. It's a nice full August garden here for sure. Oh no, Amy. Amy says, I ordered a cross-stitch sampler today, but the problem is I have one on the frame and it's been ongoing for 12 years. Oh my gosh, isn't that the whole deal with cross-stitch? It really, you get it going and it, you know, those big cross-stitches do take like ages and ages. All right, so that whole area is done. So I think let's move on to this segment here, this middle segment. And I think let's start with like the structures of it all again. Let's start with the kind of ground. So this one isn't in a box, in a raised bed. This one is just like a mound. Both of these are just kind of like mounds. So I think, why don't we get the brown out again? I wonder how far the brown will go, because I could just jump down and get both of these right away, which would be pretty cool. Let's see. I think I have to get a whole nother piece here. Ooh. Am I out? Oh, it's sitting right here next to me. Yeah, I can probably just go around one. So we'll do the center area first. And then, like I said, I should just go by sections and not try and jump around. I'll just stay where I'm at here. Okay. There we go. So now this one you can go behind all the stitches if you want, like continue the line, but I do have a little bit of space in between, like a little bit of air. It's going to be filled up with all of these stitches, so I'm not too worried about, you know, there being like nothing to see there. So I'm going to just, like when I get to this line here, I'm going to jump over there and jump to the next part of the line, just to make it a little bit easier. So I think we'll start, actually, why don't we start on these little, we'll start, there's like one stitch here. We'll do the loop method for that one. Zoop. All right, and then we'll jump to here. And then all the way around. So after we get the brown on this and this, and then we can actually put this front fence in if we wanted to. But again, I think we'll go section by section here. So we're doing garden contents, like whatever's in the garden, and then I think let's do the fence, and then we can get everything on the outside of the garden. Like the little flowers at the corners, and all the little animals, and then all the grass and everything too. Not all tonight, but this week for sure. I feel like it's already going going faster tonight. After getting some of those back things done. I just love this little section, though. That's my favorite for sure. Oh, Kate and Cassie, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm having fun with this one. I think it's turning out cute. Maybe I'll do the eggplants first. I know they're in front, and I've been going like back to front, so like, you know, tomatoes in theory should be first, but I don't know. Oh, we'll see. I gotta do the cages for these, I think. So by cages, I mean there's a few little metal, a few little bits of, oh, actually, some of that goes around. All of that goes around the, like, okay, I'm referring to this little piece there. There's a couple pieces of gray. It's like the cage that the tomato grows in, but those are actually in front of the tomato plants. So I'm going to want to stitch the tomato plants themselves before the gray. So I was going in the wrong order. So I do want to do the plants first. And then we just see a little bit of that cage in front of the plants. Just curious. Oh, this is all the rest of the brown, so maybe I'll try and stitch this bottom one with scraps. I don't think I'm going to have enough scrap thread for that. I'll have to cut a new piece, I guess. But maybe I won't do like the double long, because I've been cutting my piece twice as long so I can fold it in half, so I can do the loop method. Maybe I just won't do the loop method. And that'll save myself some brown thread, I suppose. Okay. Couple more stitches here. Actually, I mean, this is a poor ending spot for this, but I might actually jump down to the next. Yeah, nah, I'll have to stop this. I should have maybe started right here, because if I ended up here, I could maybe jump down, or started here, I could have jumped over and started the brown of this one, but I'm ending up way up here. We got one more stitch here as well, the brown. Alright, I'm just going to weave in the end. We'll move on. Alright, yeah, just a little piece left, and I have like one more little piece. That, I don't think is going to get me all the way around that other garden bed, but we'll see. Okay. Well, let's get a whole pile of green again. So we got the green from these eggplants, and then the green of all of these tomato plants. So I'm going to need a whole pile of it. And I think we have some large pieces here yet, which is great. Lots of green in this garden. So these are my double long pieces that I cut, so I can fold in half to get the two strands that I need. And this is actually a pretty common way of doing it for cross stitch, I think. Cutting a longer piece and then folding it in half. Okay. And I think I'm just going to start here and do the whole row. So there are a couple little straight stitches here, so that's perfect for my loop method of starting. So some straight stitches and some lazy daisy. So we'll get all the straight stitches first. You can see them here, and I'm again going to use that as a guide. Few little stitches, and then all the lazy daisies, or the single chain stitches. I sometimes use a single chain stitch and lazy daisy stitch interchangeably, but I guess these are more single chain stitches because they're all owned by themselves. They're not grouped with, like grouped around a center to make a flower. That would be more of a lazy daisy. Boop. Three little leaves on the eggplant here. Or I mean 3 more. 5 total. And I think I have a little purple left here, so maybe once I run out of this green, because I'm sure I'm not going to finish all these tomatoes before running out of the green, but maybe before I get more green, maybe I'll get the couple of little eggplants, because that'll feel like I got a whole nother plant done. Alrighty, let's get a couple little stitches here, straight stitches. Then 6 little eggplants. I suspect if we attempted to grow eggplants, that would be definitely one that the squirrels would want. Oh no, Kate! Kate and Cassie says, this makes me want to undo my project I started and restart. Oh, it's such a mess. Oh, just keep going. Like, if you're talking about, like, if the back's a mess or whatever, I wouldn't worry about that at all. But, yeah. I like those just, it's all practicing to get better, and just, if its only purpose is just to chill in the evening, that serves an important purpose. But I'm sure it looks great. And it also represents a moment in time, so it'll be neat looking back, you know, in a couple years or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, that's where I was at, ability-wise, when I made that project. I think that's always really interesting. Alright, one more leaf for the eggplants, and then I'm going to just jump on over to these tomatoes, and we'll stitch those until I run out of thread, and then I think I'll come back and get these eggplant fruits. Oops. Lost the thread. Let's rethread. I didn't lose the thread, I just pulled the needle off. Alright, I think we'll just start at the bottom and work our way up like it's growing. Go get like the main kind of stalk, and then come back and get all the other little branches coming off of it. Other little lines here and there. Oh, Kate and Cassie says, oh, the back is horrible and I can't get it to be tight in the ring. Oh, it's, okay, I have a trick for that. It's my first embroidery project. I'll do another one with all the tricks I'm learning for you. Oh, that's awesome, Kate and Cassie. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have one nearby here. Let me grab this. So if you're having trouble, like with your hoop, for the fabric to stay in the ring, one thing you could do is like with some extra fabric, like this is just some random linen fabric I had around. If you cut it into little strips, like 1-inch strips or something, you can wrap it around the inner hoop. So, I mean, this looks like a mess, but it's because it's linen. But, you know, the raw edge doesn't matter. So you just wrap around and around and around the hoop. And when at the end, let's see if I can find the end. Where are you? Oh yeah, right here. I just hand stitched the end to the rest of it. So you basically have a hoop with your inner hoop with fabric around it, and that actually rounds the fabric. It's not like a cutoff when it goes, like a sharp edge when it goes over the inner hoop, and it just grips everything a whole lot better. And there's like a little squish in there, which is helpful as well. So that might be something to play around with and try. So I like using this hoop every once in a while, because it's got that wrap on the inside. You could use like a ribbon or something to, like, whatever you have. That's just, I think, a few strips of probably 1-inch size strips of like some random linen that I happen to have. All right, now I'm coming down and getting all these other little mini sprigs that are growing out of here too. Definitely glancing back at the design to make sure that I'm getting them all. I mean, I can see the lines here, but again, it's like another dense area, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting them all. There we go. This one's connecting to here. And one more. Then we have a whole pile of little cherry tomatoes hanging out. We will come back and do those later. All right, starting the next stalk, I guess. That's what I would call it. And we're almost out of thread, so we'll definitely finish on this little stalk, and then I'm gonna grab some purple and we'll do the eggplants, and then I'll get more green. I think we'll go up the center here. Yeah, let's go up the center. Then I'll get the ones hanging off the center. Ooh, running out. All right. Let's get, oops, there we go. Let's get all the little guys now coming off of this one. And I think I pulled my thread kind of funny. All right, we're fine. Okay, we got a little vine coming up here. Not vine, but an offshoot. I think we'll be able to get this whole kind of side here. It's like maybe 3 more stitches. These are going to be filled with cherry tomatoes, so we'll be adding like a pop of red, like back here. Oh yeah, here's that wrap again, if that's what you're looking at. So I just kind of just start anywhere on the inner hoop, and I'm just kind of going at a 45-degree angle all the way around. If you just need to start a little piece, you can just like stitch the last piece, like hand stitch it to the next piece, and just keep wrapping. Linda's asking, do they know if the new baby is a boy or a girl? It is a boy, and it's like the first boy in in my brother's wife's family, really, for a while. So there's just tons of girls. So that'll be a new idea in that realm. Oh, Amy asked, was it tough to do the P for pig instead of a penguin? So it's kind of goofy. So I did do a pig instead of a penguin for the letter P, and I was running into an issue that came up over and over again, which is just so silly, when I was designing the alphabet, and this is like 10 years ago. I kept having like so many birds. Like I kept like, ooh, penguin would be great for P, and like vulture would be good for V, and there was so many birds, and I didn't really want to have birds next to each other. So I had already done owl for O. So I didn't want to do another bird for P. So I was just trying to limit birds, basically, is kind of what happened there. Ooh, there's like two kind of like randomly went around here. I want to get these two stitches here, and then that's it for like this little branch. This is kind of cute. Yeah, all right, so I'm going to weave in the end here. So I think the only other bird I did was a quail for Q. Yeah, maybe that's the only other bird. Wow, so actually maybe there aren't a ton of birds. Huh. I remember, like, this is a long time ago again, but I feel like I remember having done birds, and then, like, the next one was another bird, so I was just, like, on guard for doing birds after each other. That's basically why it's a pig. And I hadn't done any, that's like the only farm animal too, I think. So I'm like, I gotta get a farm animal in here. I guess a quail could be considered a farm animal, but not an obvious one. All right, let's just sneak in some purple here. I do have a scrap piece of purple. Ooh, is this enough? I mean, this looks kind of like a lot, but dang, lazy daisies, or the single chain stitches take up a bunch of thread. Ugh, and I don't want to get a whole new piece yet. Let's see if I can get the 6 single chain stitches with this amount of thread. I mean, it kind of looks like a lot, but they use up that thread. But this would be a great spot to use this scrap. There's more purple, like all of these French knots are purple, and that'll take up a bunch of thread. So I'll start fresh for there, but let's see, down here we'll start. But if I could sneak in all of these single chain stitches with this purple, that would be pretty nice to use up a scrap. All right. Oof, I might have to do the sewing method in and out. Okay, one, oop, get in there. So I'm just gonna rotating my hoop so it's comfortable. Because for the sewing method, I can go right to left, and that's basically it. Okay, wrap that around the needle. Ooh, do I have enough for the rest? We're gonna thread chicken this guy, but that's looking pretty cute. All right, let's hop up here. I kind of pulled that one tight. I'm gonna loosen that a little bit once I come up here again. So if you pull your lazy daisies, or your single chain stitches, I keep saying lazy daisies, if you pull them too tight, it looks like just like two stitches next to each other. I'm gonna just try and pull on that a little bit so it's a little bit more teardrop shape. There we go. That's cuter. See, now it's more of that teardrop. I like that. Versus just those two tight stitches next to each other. Alright, so I'm going to try and keep that loose again. Tack it down, and one more, and we got it. And we'll get some more green going for those tomatoes. And stitch for a few more minutes here. We got like 8 minutes or so. There we go. Perfect way to use up that purple scrap right there. Getting some plants to harvest here. It's looking good. Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's right, because Q comes LMNOPQ. Yeah, it would have been 3 birds in a row. So that makes sense. So in my head, the Q was way further down the road, but you're right, that is right after P. So yeah, it would have gone owl, then penguin, then quail. And I think I probably had already done the owl, and I probably had decided on quail or for the Q. So then I'm like, I don't want another bird stuck in between the 3. That feels familiar. I think you got it there, Amy. Okay, green. Let's grab another piece from here. And we'll keep going on our tomatoes. I'm hoping we'll finish these tomatoes, get all the French knots in tomorrow. It'd be awesome if we could finish this whole area too. So yeah, maybe we can finish up the whole... Ooh, I'm stuck in here. That rarely happens. Hopefully we can finish the whole garden. Oh, I'm going to have to trim this. Weird. My little method didn't work very well. Got all tangled at the bottom. Well, that's why I don't like using this long of thread typically. Let's just trim that. You're garbage. Okay. And get this guy all set for another loop method of starting. All right. Let's start down here. I think we got like a couple stitches. We got like the left half of that plant done. Oops, jeez. Thread was shorter than I thought. Pulled it right on through. There we go. Slow it down. Okay. I think I can get this in 3 stitches. And then we'll be on the last sprig. Last sprig has a bunch of little offshoots, though. And now we'll get some of these little offshoots. A little bit more green. Boop. 3 more stitches, and actually let's do it in 2. This will be one big stitch. And then this guy here. And that's it for that plant, except for the tomatoes. And let's hop over. I'll just use up this thread. I think we'll just go till I use up this thread tonight. I don't think that'll be too long. The thread or the tomato plant, whichever comes first, and I suspect it'll be the thread that we'll use up first. We'll see. Get a couple of these little floaty offshoots coming up here, but the rest we'll get when we do the next sprig. Itty bitty stitches in here. It'll be fun to add all the French knots. So that'll be tomorrow's job. Getting there with the thread. Definitely don't think I'll win thread chicken. Kind of got the main stock, and now I'm gonna go back and get all the little pieces. Uh-oh. Lost my needle. It's threaded again. Get that second bit there. Night, Amy. I'm gonna go just till I finish this thread, so we'll go a hair over so I can do that. Then we'll call it a night. I think we'll actually end it there. I have a teeny bit, well, I don't know, we have a teeny bit left. Let's just keep going. Get this side of all of this. We got a little sprig that comes out this way. actually one going up top too. This is another super duper dense area with lots of little stitches going on. So definitely take your time. And this is where you can go over the bench, which I think is so cool again, because then the bench is kind of hidden way in the back of the garden, so everything's grown around it a little bit. Get a few little extra little straight stitches in here, and we'll weave in this end, and he'll be all done. We got a couple just going across the bench a little bit. So do your best on like getting all these little things. I'm definitely referencing back here, and wherever you go, it's just going to be a leafy, fun thing. So even if your stitches are a little bit different than this, that's going to be totally fine. And we are going to just add all the little French knots, and that will be our fun, fluffy little tomato plant. Ooh, and I think I lost my thread again. Oh, I'm close. All right, I got like 2 more stitches here, and one little sprig coming out, and then that's it for that part of the plant, and then we just have like this little bit down here. So I do need some more green. Oh, shoot. Lost my thread right at the end there. Only lost half of it though, so let's just finish the stitch with the single thread here. And I'll have to rethread it again on the back. Trim the same length, and then I will weave in this end, and we'll call it a night. Ooh, I got a little knot back here. That's a bummer. Ah, well. Not a knot, but like some got caught, so I got like some loose loops back there. When we do all the French knots, I'll try and tack all those extra little loops down, so they're less noticeable on the back. All right, I think we got really far tonight. We got the this whole bed done, and we got this middle bed almost done. Just about done with the leafy bits of the tomatoes, and then we'll add a whole pile. Oh, we got to do the cage. So we'll finish the leaves, and then we'll do the gray cage around the tomatoes just a little bit. We just see a little bit of the front of the cage, and then all the French knots all over. And then I would like to try and get this guy done. This I think will be a quicker one, because we just have a few simple plants in there. And that'd be awesome if we could finish the whole inside of the garden tomorrow. So, all right, you guys. So that is it for the evening. Thanks again for hanging out with me. I will be here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I think we'll finish that inside of that garden there. So thanks again, and thanks for checking out penguinandfish.com, and I appreciate hanging out with you guys. Have a lovely rest of your Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.